Now, before you instantly dislike the video and move on, let me just say that I don't support Carson's actions. He is clearly in the wrong, and everything about every single one of his actions in this situation is absolutely disgusting from a content creator of his size. I'm not defending him, never have, and never will. Secondly, let me remove any of you that may be thinking that I'm just completely biased to Carson. I have never watched a CallMeCarson video. I have never been subscribed to the dude, and frankly, I'm not a fan of his content. But how the internet has approached the situation, and how they've immediately labeled certain people involved as certain things, is absolutely wrong. This is not okay, and running away and trying to call people things that they are not makes your claims lose a lot of credibility. We're going to be going through the situation as a whole, and looking at exactly what happened, who was involved, and how it went down. Lastly, I'm going to try avoid letting my personal opinions seep through here and just go with facts and logic to prove or disprove certain things. Also, instead of making this video's comment section a war zone, I would encourage you all to join my Discord server. If you have any questions about anything I'll be going over in this video, you have a much better chance of getting a response there. But no matter where you stand on the situation already, I'll let you guys judge this yourselves. This is the CallMeCarson situation. So on the 5th of January 2021, a video posted by Keemstar shocked the internet. CallMeCarson had allegations placed on him by his own former, I'm guessing, friends. Travs and Hugbox both spoke about the situation. Carson had been exchanging nudes with a 17-year-old girl who was his fan at the age of 19. People instantly started comparing the video to that of Lionmaker, who has been outed for preying on minors a couple years earlier. Not long after the video was released, a tweet was dropped by someone claiming to have been groomed by CallMeCarson, even going as far as to add the trigger warning pedophilia before she began speaking on the matter. I'll get into that a little later, but in this thread of tweets, she showed all of her DMs with Carson and showed his Discord account to prove that it is him. She took a video of the DMs on her phone as well to show that they are not inspect elemented. The public took these tweets as even more evidence that CallMeCarson is a pedophile. Instantly, YouTube was completely filled with more videos covering the allegations, and other videos memeing on Carson in the situation, which instantly misled people. Branding someone as a pedophile is a pretty gigantic claim, but since the entire internet seemed to already be hating on Carson, they just rolled with it. Later on, multiple content creators said their piece. Almost all of the people involved denied Carson being a pedophile, yet the internet still ran wild. Now we are left in a divide of which way the internet went in terms of whether or not Carson deserves to have his platform taken away. One side proved the legality of the situation, while the other continued to attack based on morals alone. Let's take a gander at a lot of the misconceptions brought up here. Okay, this one should be obvious, but as of right now, there are zero things which would suggest that Carson King has been prosecuted. We haven't seen an official response yet, and he hasn't had a social media presence since, but apart from that, there is nothing to say that he is incarcerated. Although, that may change soon depending on what comes out in the coming weeks. There are a lot of people trying to debate this when the answer is very blatant in the situation. Carson could very well be convicted for possession of child pornography. Before we get into this next point, I'll just have to mention that I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a professional by any means, and if anyone corrects anything I may get wrong here, I will be leaving a pinned comment with corrections. So please go check that comment section. The main defense for Carson is something called the Defense for Young Adults and Minors in a Relationship, which applies in the state of Indiana, where Carson lives, where it states that if all of the following apply, then this defense could be used. The offense was committed by a person younger than 22, the person receiving or depicted in the image consented to the conduct, the person involved are close in age, not more than 4 years apart, and in a dating or ongoing relationship. The image was produced, stored, or shared using a smartphone, smart device, cell phone, or social networking website. The image is not distributed beyond the sender, receiver, and person depicted in the image or in violation of a court protection order. What the people trying to claim that Carson did nothing illegal don't realize is that this is just the state of Indiana taking steps to carve out an exception for appropriate close-in-age relationships. The feds have not done this, making it a felony. Child pornography, including nude sexual images of a minor, are illegal at the federal level. Carson could be prosecuted, and I say could because I'm sure he has gotten rid of all the evidence by now, seeing that it's on Snapchat. Something interesting that I've come across, though, is a section on the Snapchat support website stating how Snapchat works closely with law enforcement, so I'm guessing they have a way of checking old chat logs for sure. But to sum this section up, Yes, Carson committed a federal crime, and yes, Carson could be prosecuted. At this time, there's nothing to show that that has happened, though. Now, before we get into answering whether or not Carson is a pedophile, or whether or not he groomed anybody, I'd like to focus on a couple things said by certain people involved. First, the JSchlatt video, where we get a much more inside look into Carson's private life and what led to all of this in the first place. Carson downplayed the entire situation to his friends and convinced them that this was just a spur-of-the-moment type of thing, which it clearly wasn't. I'll leave the video in the description as it's pretty important to the situation and gives a lot of insight. Next, I'd like to briefly mention a video by the narrator. It doesn't cover the allegations put on Carson in recent times, but he felt like it was a good time to say his piece on how Carson ruined a lot of his friendships. I recommend giving it a watch as it really helps build Carson's character. That will also be in the description. So now, for the title piece and the main thing that I'm going to be covering, I like to cover it with caution. Regardless of how we all personally feel about this, I think we can all agree to stick to facts. I find that a lot of the internet is uneducated on this topic, and it's quite heartbreaking, really. People immediately see what's trending on Twitter and immediately label the YouTuber CallMeCarson as a pedophile, which by definition, and by a lot of people's personal opinions, it is not. CallMeCarson is not a pedophile. So many people seem to be attacking Carson for the age gap, but that is not the thing any of us should be focusing on. A 17-year-old dating a 19-year-old is not pedophilia. A psychiatric disorder in which an adult has sexual fantasies about or engages in sexual acts with a pre-pubescent child. That is not what Carson was in this situation. If you want to go at him for anything, go at him for the power dynamic between him and his fans. Go at him for the nude solicited. Go at him for possession of child porn. Do not brand someone who very clearly isn't as a pedophile. It definitely wasn't right, and it was a stupid thing for him to do, but I strongly disagree with the people making him out to be on the same level as child snatchers in white vans, or child rapists, or anything along those lines. Next, we get into people branding him as a groomer, or saying that he groomed kids. I would disagree with branding the situation as that as well, or just going by definition once again, the action by a pedophile of preparing a child for a meeting, especially via an internet chat room, with the intention of committing a sexual offense, is how grooming is defined. That is not what the CallMeCarson situation is at all. CallMeCarson is not a pedophile, he never prepared a child for any meeting, and I'm sure that he wasn't intentionally trying to commit a sexual offense. But as it turned out, what he was doing was so incredibly wrong and very much illegal. To conclude, CallMeCarson is not a pedophile or a groomer. He never groomed anyone and never took part in any acts of pedophilia. What he did do was abuse his power over somebody else in order to solicit nudes from a minor. It was not grooming, it never was grooming. It was straight up manipulation of vulnerable people. That's the only accurate way to describe this situation in my opinion. Even the girl who originally came out about the whole situation admitted to the misuse of the word pedophile. If the original accuser admits to a part of her accusation being false, then what ground do you have to stand on to brand somebody that? So to summarize, by definition, CallMeCarson is not a pedophile. By the accuser's personal opinion, CallMeCarson is not a pedophile. By definition, CallMeCarson is not a groomer. In the personal opinion of a lot of people involved, CallMeCarson is not a groomer. Sad that people who could literally be in the same grade, the same class in school, are branded as a pedophile for dating somebody else in that same grade. That was a point brought up by Critical, who was then attacked for apparently defending the possession of child pornography. It clearly shows the fault in how the internet perceives certain things. If there's anything to learn from this video, it is to take others' words for what they are. Making assumptions is exactly how we were put in the situation where people are falsely accused of being a pedophile. Well, that's my piece. I tried to delay this video for as long as possible in order to catch a response from CallMeCarson himself, but it seems that that won't happen. If you have any point you are unsure about or want to debate, join my Discord server or leave a comment, although I can't guarantee I will see either of those things. Thank you for listening, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video at the very least. Peace and thank you.